Dear traders, in this tutorial we are going to learn the basics of Forex market. Before we start, we have some important questions need to be answered, and these questions are including the definition of Forex market, how it works, who are the main participants of this market, which assets are traded in this market, as well as what about the opening time of this market. So let's start by answering the first question, which is the definition of Forex market. The term Forex relates to foreign stock exchange market and is the largest financial market in the world with a trading volume 5 trillion and it opens 24 hours a day. And here we can see the main trading sessions for that market. As we can see, this market opens in Sydney at 7 a.m. and closes at 4 p.m. Tokyo, London, as well as New York, which means that we have 4 main central locations for that market or 4 trading sessions for this market. In that market, we can trade financial assets such as stocks, indices, or foreign currencies. Or we can also trade commodities such as crude oil, cotton, and many other types of commodities. The main participants of this market are individual investors, companies, banks, central banks, and governments. For example, governments and central banks prefer to enter this market for the aim of controlling the supply of money or the money supply, or to protect the exchange rate of their local currencies against other currencies. For example, let's assume that we have an inflation in USA. In this case, the US dollar will be affected by inflation, which means that the exchange rate of dollar will be deteriorated. So, to protect the exchange rate of dollar, the US government enters this market for the aim of increasing the demand on US dollar for the aim of increasing the exchange rate of US dollar against other currencies and vice versa. For example, if the exchange rate of dollar is considered to be very high against other currencies, so in this case the US government will enter this market to increase the supply of dollar for the aim of decreasing the exchange rate of dollar to motivate international investors to increase their imports from US. So the first thing I'm going to do is to explain this trading platform and how it can be used by beginners. Here I'm going to start with these tools and what they are mean. For example, this tool gives notifications for investors, and here we can find the economic calendar, here news and analysis, and here beginners can find some important videos or tutorials to enrich their background about Forex. Here we can see this button help you to place your orders. For example, I'm going here to give a new order for, let's say, Great British Pound against US dollar. So in this case, you can tell the market to buy, for example, 10,000 pound against US dollar when the price became 132. Then we want it to be a buying transaction. Then press confirm. So in this case, we told the market to buy 10,000 Great British Pound when the price reach this value, which is 132. And here we can see the current price is 130. And here, for example, the GBP Great British pound. Then it's a buying transaction or a buying order, then we press confirm. So in this case, when the price reach 131, I will get a notification. So here we can see indices and which indices we can deal. For example, here we can add some indices. I'm going to add DAX index to my favorite list, and I can add, for example, Dow Jones to my favorite index. Then I will go back to my watching list. Here we can see the type of our chart. We can choose, for example, the candlestick chart, Heiken chart, or line chart. Here you can ask the platform to present your chart within a minute or 5 minutes or during the last week. For example, I'm going to go back to the candle chart, and here you can place your indicator, and here you can check the details of your instrument. Here you can see the price, the selling price and buying price, here the percentage of change, and here we can see that the sellers are denominated or are controlling the market. For example, the percentage of selling orders is 68%, which means we have an increase in supply of this instrument. So in this case, the price will tend to go down. Then the supporting action will be started by bulls or buyers. Actually, it's very easy to place your order, for example, to buy or sell, while the most important thing and the thing that seems to be difficult is to take the correct or to make the correct decision. So to make a correct decision, you have to evaluate the instrument that you are going to deal with. So in order to evaluate this instrument, then it's necessary to check the economic calendar as well as the news and analysis. For example, let's assume that I'm going to deal with Great British Pound against US dollar. So in this case, we have to check any news related to USA as well as UK. Therefore, these news will help me to make a correct decision. And thank you for watching. In the coming tutorial, I'm going to explain how we could trade in the Forex market. Thank you.